This is the first and I guess only rotation for Astromancer Elena since they're revamping it again. Currently rank 1, this is not holding some super gear and imprint and artifact gaps this time. But we got Charles, LRK, Wukong, plus Amid. Replacements besides Amid. Amid's here because she gives greater attack buff. If you're looking for damage, there's no real replacement. You can just run, well, no fire heroes, but somebody like Infinite Horizon Acades would probably work okay. It's not like you take a ton of damage during this fight. We're honestly just face tanking everything. And then Charles, the replacement, is somebody like Twisted Eidolon K-Run, Kickerat, just anybody with some sort of AoE attack ideally and counter attack buff. LRK's here for his cooldown reduction and also the barrier that he gives. Also, no real replacement. There's somebody using Conqueror Lilius, though I do think LRK is just better. And then we also have Wukong here, who is, funnily enough, better than Hikari, because Smelgate forgot to give Elena defense. Hikari can't crit, which means that her damage is very low compared to Wukong, who actually can crit. But if they gave Elena defense, then this probably wouldn't be the case. I'm surprised they actually made this mistake, given that they gave Elena defense for the Renock rotation, and DDR had defense on the Laya rotations. They've done it before, not sure why they didn't do it this time. But we'll take it, we get to use Wukong. Let's take a look at everybody's stats. Starting off with Charles. So Charles' speed here, I have him at 112, and this is a very specific speed tuning. You want to make sure that he goes after Wukong, so slower than Wukong, and also faster than LRK by a few speed. And you don't need that much speed to be faster than LRK, because the turn you want to cut LRK is like in the second phase, so a lot of time for that speed to build up. You do want a little bit of bulk, not a ton, because he's gonna full heal when he uses S2. His S2 healed him now. He's in a full heal when he uses S2 in the break phase, so you don't need a ton of bulk, just enough to not die from the attacks that you take. And besides that, just load up on damage, team imprint, more crit chance for your Wukong, or if you need the crit chance for Charles, then you can self-imprint. For his EE, we're going to be going for S2 smash damage. And artifact, I like using Super Duper Water Shooter. It's got higher flat attack than Card of Small Miracles and Warhorn. Next up, LRK. LRK team imprint, the 17% crit chance is a lot. If you see how much crit chance you end up needing. I've got him at 107 speed. I think this is the minimum speed, honestly. Any slower than this, and I kept on having issues with LRK just not getting his turn for some reason, and I wouldn't get Elena down to 65 or to 60%. If you're not having that issue, you could go slower, but 107 works out really well. And besides that, just give him a bunch of tank stats. Warhorn as the artifact. You can't get CR on anybody except for the back unit, so the Warhorn CR push doesn't even work here. And then we have Amid. Amid, you can go her a little bit faster. I gave her a protection set just for fun. And then 148 speed is the speed I'm working with. The speed will vary a little bit because I want Amid to cut at a certain turn later in the second phase, and I don't want her to cut Wukong. So this is pretty much an exact speed for me. Greater attack buff artifact, and then or greater attack buff EE, and then for her artifact we're using Queen's Whistle. The CR push is completely negated here, so it doesn't even matter what your limit break is. You'll be able to copy the setup and just give her some bulk stats. I have no imprints on her, which kind of sucks. And lastly, our main DPS, Wukong, who I also have no imprints on, so missing quite a bit of damage there. For his EE, we're going to be going for S3 damage. We're going to have Cruel Mischief as our artifact, and then Destro plus whatever. Remember that Torrent is not great for Hall of Trials, so you don't really need it. I'm at 83% crit chance, so I'm pretty overcapped. I'm getting like 23 crit chance, I think. 22. I think it's 22 crit chance for everybody else. So I could drop my crit chance all the way down to 78. The speed here is kind of important. You do need Wukong to be decently fast, just to make sure that he gets the right turns at the right time. I could mod this crit chance out and make him a little bit faster, but I don't need to, so it's fine. It's just Destro plus whatever. Make sure you're utilizing crit chance imprints, or if you need to, Midnight Bloom, and then a little bit of speed. This is the setup, and now let's do the run. So first things first, the main thing you want to look out for is the speed RNG at the very start. And we're going to let everything settle, and we're going to see what's going on here. So Krau ahead of Wukong is not great, but my Wukong is 2 speed faster. I think my Wukong will take the turn. So we're just going to let it go. We're pretty much just autoing. The only thing we can't auto is Amit S3 targets randomly, and we don't want that to happen. So we'll be making sure we target Amit S3 manually. And also later in phase 2, so Elena pushes a random unit when she uses her S1, and that can change some stuff later. Or Wukong did take the turn. This is important, you want Wukong to go first here. So at the S2 from Charles here, fully pushes up Wukong, otherwise it would pretty much push him nothing. Elena pushing a random unit is pretty important, because it will change some of the timings on the ad attacks later. And this, we can still auto this. Let's turn everybody's skills on. Oh, why is there maintenance? Jesus. We got our 5 bucks here. This is okay. I've clicked that like 3 times. Elena, or Amid S3, we're going to target this into Wukong, and then we can turn auto back on. We have Swift Attack, so we're going to get 100% CR here. We'll instantly S1. And then we'll S3 again. And LRK here, the -1 turn from his S3, will give Wukong his S3 back, so we can S3 again. And this turn here, well, I didn't stop to check the CRs, but you can see it's pretty close there. You definitely want to make sure that Wukong goes first. Otherwise, Amid, she's out of skills to use. You'd lose out on a full hit. And then, again, we're just pretty much autoing. So here you do kind of want to keep track. There's 2, like, potential things that can happen with Elena's S1 here. So she pushed this ad first. And depending on what she pushes with the next attack, it can change some things. Okay, so she pushed this guy up again. I'm not sure exactly what that leads to, but we'll find out. We have to target Amid soon, so we're gonna stop the auto. Okay, so basically, if she pushes a single ad twice, what's going to end up happening here is we're going to S3 into Wukong, because with the timings that we have, Amid's not going to get her turn again before Wukong goes. So that strip removed our Swift Attack. Removing whatever it removes from Charles is fine, because we'll get the buffs back here. But removing the Swift Attack does change some things. Mainly that when you take your turn with Wukong here, when you S3, you're not going to instantly get the turn to S1 again. What you're going to do in this case is, if that happens, the Swift Attack gets removed, we're going to S3 into Wukong here. Now in the case that she pushes the ads evenly and they don't get a turn, they don't get to strip, Wukong will have Swift Attack, he'll S3 into S1 immediately, and you would S2 with Amid first, and then S3. So if the Swift Attack doesn't get removed, S2 then S3, if it gets removed, S3 and then S2, which we can just auto for this. Because here his S3 is still on cooldown, and now LRK gets his turn, you want to make sure that you don't waste the LRK turn, basically. Now we'll S3, Swift Attack, push up, we S1. And do keep in mind that Amid S3 targets randomly, so if it's in a situation where you S2 first, you would have to manual this turn, and make sure you actually target Wukong. But that's the fight.